Okay, so I'm out again, but today I'm here for the Stop the Donald Trump coalition protest. It's in regards to President Trump coming to the UK on one of his sanctioned visits. It's something that happens. It's normal for American presidents to come to the UK. They're invited down, a lot of pomp and pageantry happens. He spends time with royalty, he spends time with the Prime Minister, and it's an opportunity for the US government and the UK government to sit down and have talks, discuss trade deals, discuss way forwards, technology deals, steel and so forth. So it's usually an historic thing, an opportunity for the UK and the US to strengthen their links. As you know, the UK and the US has a strong link. You know, we can just go back to World War II, how the Americans were influential in helping the Allies to win the war there. There we see a statue of Winston Churchill. So right now, you can see that's by Parliament Square, and it's the Stop the Donald Trump coalition. So let's have a little walk around. Let's have a little walk around and see what's happening here today. Trump poisons democracy's blood. Stop Trump, stop fascism. No to racism, no to Trump. Counterfire. Let's have a look around. T-shirts, petitions, stop arming Israel. Young'uns, students probably. Stop Trump, stop fascism. Loads of flags, people are out. There's a stage at the front, so I want to go to the front of the stage and hear what's being said. So it's really important to hear what's being said. So it's another political rally that's happening today. Police are here to make sure everyone's behaving in an orderly fashion. Let's try and get near the front. Oh. Taking selfies there. So I'm just walking around the crowd to give you a feel of what it's like here. Obviously not everyone can make it. I can't really hear what's being said at the front stage, so I need to get a bit closer. Just going around taking a picture of all the signs before I go up to the front stage. I do really want to hear what's being said. I think I've just heard the name Corbyn, so I think Jeremy Corbyn's going to go on stage, so it'll be a good opportunity now to go to the front and hear what's being said. But I know when he speaks, his voice does carry, so I might be able to hear what he's saying from here. There we go. Pretty much loads of room to walk about here. I don't know if these are for sale or these are being given out, not sure. But stop Trump, stop fascism, no to Trump. So they're not happy with obviously the government inviting Trump here. So no one's happy with the Labour government at the minute, it seems. On one side, they're upset because he's doing I wouldn't say doing a deal, but it's customary for the UK to invite the US president over. So on one side he's upset a lot of people, and as you know, he's upset a lot of other people who feel they're not being listened to. So no one feels they're being listened to by this current government. They can't do any right, it seems. Apologies. Sorry. If I can try and get closer. Excuse me, sorry, apologies.
They take away the right to protest.
Sorry, apologies.
Because they don't want us to protest. That is why we've got to be here today and all the other days, making our voice very, very clear. Now, what Donald Trump represents is actually not the sort of economic and democratic populism that he preaches to people in the USA who've seen their communities hollowed out, their jobs destroyed, and their manufacturing industry diced up, sliced up, and sold off. He pretends he offers them a solution. He doesn't. He's actually part of the moneyed elite that has taken part in all that hollowing out of all those Rust Belt towns in the USA and elsewhere. It is a massive con that he puts in front of the people. He represents the grotesque levels of economic inequality in the USA, and also the grotesque levels of economic inequality that exist in Britain that are now getting worse following the economic strategies that Starmer is following, which is once more austerity 2.0. Trump also represents social divisions, the endless denunciation of people he's probably never heard of before, with something they may have said, done, or not even done. But what he does by creating all of those divisions is actually promote the disgusting growth of racism in the USA.
Trying to get closer to the front so I can hear what's being said.
On factories, homes, train stations, bus stations, and everywhere else, the level of fear that's there is enormous. I'll give you an example of how fearful people are in the USA.
Excuse me, sorry.
I was in Jamaica earlier this year doing some education work and things. And I met somebody who managed a hotel in Jamaica. And it was Easter time. And I said, oh, you'll be busy at Easter. He said, no.
Yeah, this looks good.
Hotel's empty. And I said, well, that's a bit strange. Easter, empty. So, yeah, all of our Jamaican Americans that normally come home for Easter are frightened to come home to Jamaica just for a few days holiday back home, because they're afraid, despite having all the paperwork and approval, will not be allowed back in the USA. That is the climate of fear that he has created all across the USA, with immigration raids, mass deportations, and sending people to the most appalling, torturous conditions in other countries. We have to protest against that, because what we have is him feeding in to the far right in the USA. This is what Elon Musk has been doing. That's why Elon Musk was so keen to be seen with Stephen Yaxley Lennon at the weekend here, albeit on video. He's got another name, but I'm not going to repeat it on stage. And so we are here to demand something different. We want a society where children don't grow up in poverty, where parents don't have to wait for the food bank on a Friday in order to be sure they can feed their children over the weekend. We want to grow up in a society where children are not so over-tested and over-stressed by our education system that they end up with mental health conditions in their mid-teen years. We need something different and better in our society. You only achieve that by the politics of bringing people together. You don't achieve that by government ministers led by the Prime Minister somehow or other blaming desperate people on leaky boats trying to get to a place of safety as if they are the cause of underfunding of hospitals, schools, care homes and everything else. Almost 10 years ago to the day, I stood in this square and demanded justice for refugees, justice for those people seeking asylum, and a society that looked to and cared for all. And what we now have is people being proud of the number they can deport from this country. Those people that are seeking asylum are victims of many things: environmental disaster, human rights abuses, but particularly they're victims of war. They're victims of the wars that we've created in Afghanistan, Iraq, in Syria, in Libya, and the war that is now going on in Palestine, where the people of Gaza are being bombed to death by planes, part of which are manufactured in Britain. And when you supply arms to a country that has already been found guilty of the war crime of genocide, it doesn't end there. It makes you, the supplier of the wherewithal to continue the genocide, equally guilty of the genocide. And so this is also a demonstration in support of the Palestinian people. The aggression against the Palestinian people, the bombardment of Gaza, the continued killing of people on the West Bank, and the Greater Israel plan of taking over many other neighbouring countries and a second Nakba are all only made possible by the decisions of the US, and in particular the US President, in providing the political, economic and military cover for Israel to do it. So our message to Donald Trump is, don't tell us about peace unless you intend to stop supplying arms to Israel, which are killing so many Palestinian people. And our message to your own government is, you know full well what the social divisions are in this country. You know full well what the needs are around the world. What have you done? Cut overseas aid, tried to cut benefits for people with disabilities on personal independence payments, refused to end the disgraceful two-child benefit cap, refused to compensate the WASPy women, and continued an economic policy which impoverishes so many in our society. So you are creating those divisions, at the same time trying to spend £13 billion per year more on armaments, nuclear weapons and so-called defence. Can't we instead have a government that's determined to achieve peace around the world by diplomatic means, by economic means, and by supporting people under oppression? So our demonstration here today is a demonstration of our strength, our unity and our determination not to allow others to divide us. And if you could put something in your mind, in your head, better still in your diary, on your phone or somewhere else, October the 11th, be here in London if you can. We want to make it the biggest ever demonstration in support of the people of Palestine. Please be there. Thank you very much.
Jeremy Corbyn, everybody! Will you please welcome a journalist who's taken a very principled and courageous stand. Please start clapping and cheering and welcome the incredible Karishma Patel!
Ingenious rather than dangerous, as legitimate rather than a liar. We've seen reporters tallying votes at Dover, correspondents giddily counting how many councils are taking legal action against asylum seekers in hotels. We've seen vulnerable human lives reduced to the euphemism small boats. We've essentially been watching our biggest news organisations pave the way for the far right to come into power here like it has in the United States, allowing reform's talking points to poison the well of public discourse. Unevidenced far-right rhetoric around migration has been allowed to dominate the public conversation around how this country could be better. This rhetoric has been allowed to distract people from the real issues around inequality and austerity. And this Labour government, instead of standing firm against the far right, instead of taking steps to make this country better, has joined the far right in its mission to demonise asylum seekers, to hurt those who come to our shores seeking safety, seeking kindness, seeking grace. We will not sleepwalk into a world of such cruelty. The media, in the end, will not save us. This Labour government, in the end, will not save us. It's up to us to turn up on these streets when fascism knocks at the door, and it is here, in the form of Trump, in the form of Farage, in the form of hundreds of thousands marching with their England flags and chanting, "Stop the vote." Life in this country has been gutted. Funding from the NHS has been ripped away, funding from schooling, for youth centres, for local communities. Money doesn't go far enough, house prices are through the roof, and the far right, these millionaires, these billionaires, who never get held to account, are promising people they can repair their broken lives, repair their broken communities, with deportations, with harsh anti-migration policies, scapegoating asylum seekers, scapegoating diversity on the whole. Only a compassionate leftist politics tackling austerity and inequality can begin to repair this damage. And that's what we must call for, passionately, relentlessly, in the face of Donald Trump, in the face of Nigel Farage, in the face of Tommy Robinson and anyone else sowing discord in this country. I can hear the boots from last century marching down the decades towards us, the boots of men who were just doing their jobs. We've been watching a genocide unfold across 2 years, while those providing support and cover are safely meeting as we speak. I'm afraid of the world forming around us, of history repeating itself so clearly, so blatantly. Once again, the vulnerable and minoritized are being blamed, scapegoated, and harmed. Once again, hate is becoming a popular movement. Impunity is in the air, and we must demand accountability. I often turn to a quote from John Steinbeck, who says, "All the goodness and heroisms will rise up again, be cut down and rise up. It isn't that the evil thing wins. It's that it never will. But it doesn't die, and we have to keep fighting." It's time for us to take our place in the long line of the protest without end. Ours is a politics of love, theirs is a politics of division. We have to make ourselves heard, and tonight, I think we have. Thank you so much.
Karishma Patel! Will you please now welcome to the stage from Save British Farming, give a massive round of applause to Ollie Fletcher!
Hello, I speak for Save British Farming. We have brought our tractor, you might see over there, and we are very proud to stand with you today because we fight against substandard food. We do not want chlorinated chicken coming into this country. We do not want hormone-fed beef. Trump has come to this country to refine his trade deal. He will be dining with the King, trying to convince Starmer to sign a free trade agreement. We must make sure they know that our food standards and our health are off the table. Starmer has forced through the UK-US economic prosperity deal without parliamentary scrutiny. He used a negative procedure and a statutory instrument. Parliament in this country is no longer sovereign. The executive is, with their unelected advisors. If, while dining with the King, Starmer is convinced to sign a free trade agreement with America, British farmers will not be able to compete on price with the processed American slop. Our standards are too high and our regulations are too strict. But if Starmer signs away our food security, Start again. If Starmer signs away our food production to appease Trump, he will also be signing away our security. We will be reliant on America for our sustenance. They will have us by the neck. He will also be signing away our environment. We have our animal welfare regulations and our environmental measures for a reason.
Thank you. Cheers, thank you.
And he will be signing away our health. We do not want chlorinated chicken to be forced into our homes. But perhaps most crucially, an American free trade agreement threatens our democracy. The UK-US economic prosperity deal has set a precedent whereby the executive makes decisions about what we can eat and what we can buy in the shops without Parliament looking at it at all. When the Conservatives tried to get a free trade agreement, we managed to stop it by saying that we will not eat chlorinated chicken, just as our NHS is not for sale. It's an honour to have stood with you today. Do come and say hello by the tractor. Thank you very much.
Ollie Fletcher, everybody! Will you now please welcome from the CND, start clapping and cheering and welcome Sophie Bolt!
Thanks very much. It's